Good day, grade 12s. My name is Carden Madzokere. I'm the author and publisher of the Distinction Bound Student Textbooks, and welcome to Possible Essay number 3 for paper 1. Okay, so it says here, discuss in detail features underpinning focusing. Now, this is one of the essays that learners are probably praying that it comes because it's one of the easiest. Okay, so as usual, introduction, define something, you get 2 marks. But now what you need to be then accurate about is the headings. Okay, so the first one is you now have to talk about, well, economic indicators. Okay, so here I just say the economic indicators used for forecasting. Then I just defined 1 or 2 things. But the key things that you need to talk about, this you might even leave out, not a problem. But you really have to talk about leading indicators. So when you define leading indicators, this is a keyword. So make sure you tell us that these indicators would then show us before the economy as a whole changes. Don't leave out that word because that's really key. So they show us or lead where the economy is going. Basically, this I don't need to spend time on because it's basically saying we are making predictions. Okay, so this is what we expect. This way we expect the economy to go. By December, we think this. By next year, June. In the next 2 years. So yes, economists study that. Okay, and they present this. I'm always invited by the Reserve Bank. We have what we call the Monetary Policy Forum, and from time to time, like we were there in Senton like a month ago, and I was also there like 4 months ago, like that. So what the Reserve Bank will be doing, what the MPC actually will be doing, is they'll be telling us this is what's happening in the economy as we speak, and this is what we think next year will be, and so on. So they do forecast and they share these forecast figures, and it's vital in our subject to make predictions. So they make use of indicators. There are things that show them that this, when we see this could happen. Now, I'm going to explore some examples, which is also very important. So you see here we have a million of examples, but you don't really have to have all these. I think this is a good one. Okay, share prices. So just tell me what you think it tells you. If okay, let me give you an example. Something that happened in the past, and so when President Ramaphosa announced that we are going to go through a lockdown, what happened to share prices on the JSE? Was it the same time when he announced that people lost jobs, or after the announcement, what actually transpired was share prices changed the same day? The same day the announcement was made, share prices dropped. The JSE was crazy during COVID. Now, was it the same time when people lost their jobs? No. As time went, so because of all this, we went through a downswing. We went through a recession. We went through a depression, something like that. But there is something that happened way before, which is share prices changed. And before our economy even changed for the better, share prices had already started to show us that, okay, this is promising. I think this is now where we're heading. So that's a good example. Share prices, they are a leading indicator. Okay, so have at least one example, and I'm recommending this one, share prices. Here I'm giving you way too many examples. You can explore them, you can discuss, you can try to reason it out why we are saying this is leading indicator. Okay, so if you want, pause and get some points here, because definitely you have to have more than 1 point. But take note before. Make sure you tell us that. That's key. All right, the next one, let's go on to lagging indicators. And what is key on this one is the word after. So change happens after, like this will show you later on. And a good example that I can give you is hours worked in construction. Okay, this is a good example, and I think this would be easy for you to remember. So, lagging indicators basically is things that will show you after. So, they sort of confirm that, oh, okay, we had a recession. Oh, we had a depression. Oh, we had a recovery. At this time, we're probably already going through a prosperity phase. Or now, when we are now on a recession, these things will just confirm that, oh, we had a prosperity just before what we're going through right now. We had a prosperity. So basically, they show after. Then we have coincident indicators. Now, these happen at approximately the same time. So, during a recession, they simply just confirm that, wow, we are going through a recession. So, the difference is lagging would say there was a recession, but coincident indicators would say there is a recession currently. And leading indicators would have told us that a recession is coming. So basically, this is not rocket science. This is extremely easy. And a good example that I have for you is this one here, real retail sales. So let me give you an example. Let's say you own a restaurant, and at the end of the day, whatever it is that you're going to cash, so your waiters and waitresses have been running around during the day serving your customers, whatever. At the end of the day, they cash up, and then the shop will count. Okay, so we made 13,000 today. That's what they'll bank tomorrow. Okay, now, do you realize something? The minute they have 13,000, already it's like, wow, look at this. Surely we are going through a recession. The whole day we made 13,000. On good days, we make 45,000. Oh, when are those good days? During times of prosperity. So then tomorrow, they work, and they cash up 12,000. It still confirms that, oh my God, we are going through a recession. Do you see the difference? If we compare that to share prices, do you see the difference? Share prices would change immediately, and it will, whatever it is that we would see in shops when we cash up. Because what I would then tell you is, when share prices begin to change, well, people are still eating in restaurants. They are still, nothing has really changed yet. And so during that time, when share prices are already changing, like dropping or going up, whatever the case is, when it comes to cashing up, let's say we are cashing up 45,000. The same day we are cashing up 45,000, share prices plummeted. They dropped, drastically. But in the long run, we then start seeing that, oh, now people have lost their jobs. Now they eat less in restaurants. So now it begins to show when shops cash up, because they can clearly see that, oh my God, people, where are the customers? So I think this is not rocket science. Then here, what you need to talk about is one single index. This is vital. Please make sure you talk about one single index. So a composite, I think you know what the word means, composite. So putting indicators together and make one single index, that becomes a composite indicator. So we have leading, lagging, and coincident indicators bundled together. So you can pause, and then there you have your points. We also now have to be mindful of the fact that we don't just use these indicators to focus. We have other tools. So other tools that we can use to focus. Number one, we have the length. So the length of a business cycle, as we all know, is what it takes for a business cycle to go through a complete phase. So it's measured from peak to peak or trough to trough. So it has all four phases: a recession, a depression, a recovery, and a prosperity. So basically, that's what it is. So that's the length. So we can use that to predict. If you read bullet number 2, if a business cycle is the length of 10 years, it can be predicted that 10 years will pass between successive peaks or troughs in the economy. So basically, if we have a length of 10 years, we can then predict the next length to be 10 years. Okay, so basically that's another tool, because they are not using one thing, they are using a couple of tools, and they use them to the best of their knowledge, to the best of their ability, and they use that to make predictions. So a group of economists at the Reserve Bank would predict something, and they come up with different numbers from what, let's say, a group of economists elsewhere would predict on the same variables. The reason is it's in a way subjective. Right, so we also have amplitude as one of the tools, and the amplitude actually measures the intensity of a business cycle. So it is measured from a trough, so it's that vertical distance between a peak and a trough. Like I said, here it measures the intensity of a business cycle. Then we have the trend line, which shows the general direction in which the economy seems to be heading. Right, so basically we then predict that it's going to follow the same trend. Then when we're doing all this, basically we're doing extrapolation, which is using what we know to predict that which we don't know. So using past data, whatever it is that you could be using to make predictions about the future. So using what we know to predict what we don't know. Then last but not least, we have moving average, which is the method of repeatedly calculating a series of different average values along a time series to produce a smooth curve. Okay, so we have three main concepts that they could use when it comes to moving average. Okay, so this brings us to the end of one of the easiest possible essays, essay number 3. And the next one that we are going to discuss will come from public sector. And the essay is discuss in detail the state's macroeconomic objectives. And this one is one of the essays that learners will be praying that it comes. So you see, there is no reason for us to fail, because wow, so far I think even the new economic paradigm that learners would say, we don't want, it's not difficult after all. Okay, so thank you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in this video, states macroeconomic objectives. Thank you. God bless.